I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me Evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with pens and needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up, with the snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up if I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle and lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, keep pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday. How y'all doing out there? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is that time of the week for what? Us to spend some good time together. It is Thursday night. I hope your week has been amazing. I am excited and glad to be here as always. Welcome to you, and you. I'm glad you made it through another week. Hard to believe we are at the end of September, and we have been having some amazing conversation all month long. Oh, if you have not been here, make sure that you go back and you watch the replays so that you can catch up on this good talk, good conversation, and good commentary that's been going down. So, as always, welcome to Thursday night on the Bravo with Sheila Network. I am your host, Lady Dawn B, and I am excited to be here with every one of you. As always, we ask you to like, subscribe, and share. Invite someone on into the room. Give the good people a chance to, get settled and get on, but they'll be piling in. So we see that the greatest moderator to ever do it in these streets or anywhere is with us tonight in the person of Lady Ine Kenya. Hey, my Ine. I'm so glad to see you in the building. Per usual, in place and ready to go. So I want to greet everyone else, those of you who are up in the expensive seats, as we call it, the silent section, invite you to come on down to the comments area. I promise you it is a safe space. We have security here, so you are in good hands. We also want to pay homage to the amazing curator of this space, the Bravo with Sheila Network. She is known as Pastor Sheila Ingram, aka my Auntie Bravo. I salute her as always and say thank you for yielding me the captain's chair so that I can spend this time with the good folks of the Bravo family. We appreciate you. I am so excited about tonight and about the rest of the year. Actually, we got some good stuff coming up on Thursday night. So prepare yourself and get buckled in. But on tonight, we are going to continue and conclude this amazing conversation that we have been having all month long, talking about being single in September. Oh my, we have had some talks. We've had the ladies, we've had the men, we've had a mixed crowd. It has just been great and awesome. And I hope that you have gotten some good information, some encouragement, and just gained a little bit more wisdom so that you can secure yourself. We're talking about cupping season throughout this month. What Fluffy Nation was birthed, all right? Okay. For the 2X and up, it is our season, so we got to be really careful Check on your fluffy friends during this time. Check on them. Make sure they all right. Hey, Von Eric is in the house. Welcome, sir. You know that you can come on up here if you want to share on this platform on tonight. Let me know. I will pop the link to you because we ain't seen you or heard from you in a minute. But we appreciate you being here, Von Eric. You know it's all love. You are always welcome. He's a part of he comes on with the men's lounge when he is available. So we're glad to see you in the space. But on tonight, again, we are finishing our conversation about being single in September. This is cuffing season is real, y'all. It's real. It's real. So before we get into the conversation on tonight, I do want to share a few house rules. You know how we do. While the Bravo with Sheila Network is not a Christian-based network, okay, we do, although most of us who do come on and share, we are believers. So as I always say, I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get a little Jesus every time you get me. That's right. But we do respect, we honor, we love to hear, and we value everyone's opinions, your thoughts, and your feelings. And whatever your moral compass is, we respect that. And we just ask everyone to join in the chat and be respectful to one another. That's all. We don't always have to agree, but that's how we grow. We grow from learning other perspectives and other insights and being open to hearing other people's feelings, thoughts, and opinions on particular topics and subjects. So we respect that. And we just ask that everybody would keep it respectful. All right. We love to have a good time here. Y'all know if we're still on at 8:30, something happens. We turn the corner and it ends up being Dawn B after dark. I don't care what we're talking about. It's just the way it happens. So we'll see what happens on tonight. But if by chance you do need some spiritual guidance, content, encouragement, if you go right across the street to the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. It's right across the street. You cannot miss it. Go right over there and you will get some good inspiration. Today we had some motivational music through the Kabbalah, meditational music. Pastor Sheila shared a great word, encouragement. She was just free flowing. She was from Psalm 3. It's just great over there across the street. You have on Tuesday mornings, my mom, Pastor Rosa, she comes on Tuesdays at 10 and shares a word that will get you through your day and through your week. You also have on Fridays, the Women of Grace at 11 a.m. That's tomorrow across the street. They come on at 11. That is none other than Pastor Sheila, who is AKA my Auntie Bravo, Pastor Rosa, who is my mom. I am her 4 of 4. I am the last one she pushed out. And we have Reverend Jenny, who I call Auntie Gangster. They are all over on the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network at 11 a.m. on Fridays. And over here, you can meet us also on Monday nights for Monday Night Beyond the Mic with Coach Pache and Dr. Elaine. So those are our announcements. Again, want to share, invite, like, subscribe. And if you're really enjoying this conversation and you want to support the network, you can even drop a super chat. That's right. We are monetized. Let us not forget that is the major accomplishment. So we appreciate your support. And you can support us for free 99 by doing what? Hitting that like button. I cannot tell you how much that means to us. So if you wouldn't mind, please, ma'am, please, sir, just take 2 seconds, hit that like button, that thumbs up, and just give us a like. We appreciate it, and it helps us as we grow this channel. I see one of my Fluffy Nation members is in the building. Hey, Cheryl Green, Fluffy Nation's in the house. That's right. We are here represented. Let's see. Von Eric says, wow, this will be a great listen tonight. Yeah. Listen, we're going to wrap it up. We've been talking about being single in September. We've been talking about cuffing season. We're talking about being secure in singleness. And tonight we are going to wrap it up. We are talking about the transition between being single to married, because people struggle with their singleness sometimes here and there. So we want to help the good people. So on tonight, I have some guests that have joined me. And I'm excited about them and their presence in this building. But neither one of them, both of them are no strangers, because, I like a diversified panel so we could share. from all angles and perspectives. So I want to bring up, he is no stranger here. He has been here, I think 2 or 3 times, maybe his 3rd or 4th. And if he's not on the platform, he will support. He's in the comment section, shutting it down. He is an author. He is an entrepreneur. He is a bishop. He is a prophet. He is so many things. I call him my prophetic boss. He is the chief administrator, the set man of the Commanders Nation. You notice what we do. We command things. Commanders don't stand down. We don't stand down. We stand up. Okay. We pull things into existence. That's what we do. Just like those the Transformers, Autobots, okay, Commanders, let's go. It's what we do. So I'm gonna bring him up to the stage, but tonight he's not necessarily coming as bishop. So I hope y'all don't mind. I'm not on here as elder. All right, we coming to have real conversation with real resolutions, because as much as we love God and as much as we do church, there's some things that we just can't discuss in those 4 walls because people will not be real. But over here, we keeps it real. $1,000 bill, okay? We keep it real. And so I'm going to bring him up. He is in the person of my brother, my friend, my prophetic boss. Bishop Michael Claiborne is in the house on tonight. What's poppin'?
What's happening?
It's good to see you. Welcome back.
My pleasure. I'm blessed to be here. I'm glad to be back.
We gonna make it happen. Now, if y'all have never seen a segment with Bishop Claiborne, you need to go back and find some. He has come on to my love, marriage, and ministry segment. He is a relationship coach, marriage counselor, and so many more things that I can't even begin to tell you. He's one man who is power packed. Okay, this package here is power packed. There's a lot of stuff he does, a lot of stuff that he is, and just a complete blessing. And they says, "Hey, Bishop Claiborne," is they greeting you up in there. So y'all like, subscribe, and share. Invite some people, because I'm promising you, you are not going to want to miss any of this great conversation on tonight. And next up, I said, you know what? Y'all ain't seen her face in a minute. So I just want her to come on. She is the sweet seasoning is what I like to call her now. She's sweetly seasoned, She has a lot of experience. She speaks she's so soft when she speaks, but she's power packed, and she's just amazing and dynamic. And she comes on. She has her own pocket. She is a mother, a grandmother, a great grandmother. She is an author. She is a pastor. She is a friend, sister, just everything. And most importantly, the greatest thing of all that she's my mama for real. Okay. She done pushed me out and grew me up. And y'all can thank her for all the things that I am and all things that I'm not. It's her fault, whatever it is. She did it. So she is in the person of Pastor Rosa. We're going to bring her up. Hi, Mommy.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Y'all say hi to my mama over there, okay? Y'all say hi to my mom. Let's see. And Nate says, "Hey, Pastor Rosa." Von Eric says, "Hey, Pastor Rosa." The people shouting you out. Cheryl Green says, "Hey, family." And we might have a few more of our Thursday night squad members popping on and in and out, because we just want to have open dialogue on tonight. So without further ado, now we got all of that stuff out of the way, I want to get into this good conversation that we are going to have on tonight, because we got the experts in the building, in the good bishop and the great pastor. But we're going to talk as real people tonight, if that's all right with y'all. So as you know, all month we've been talking about being single, because a lot of people struggle with singleness. The funny thing that I find is the majority of people that struggle with singleness is not the ones that are single. It's the other, isn't that crazy? It's the other people that are asking you, why are you still single? Or why are you single? It's the coupled up or the married folk that are asking and pushing the single folk as if they weren't once single. None of us came into this world married. We all have experienced our singleness. And when we get approached in that manner and that pressure gets put on, we can start to question our singleness, this season that we're in. Like, is there something wrong with me? why am I single? Like, what's happening? Are there no good women? Are there no good men? And it's not just one side. It happens to men and women. You know, I know some men, and I've been guilty of this. I've said it myself to some good brothers that I know. Like, you know, you're a good dude. You're a good dude. You're a great guy. Like, why are you single? You know, and I have to learn how not to do that, because there's a reason. There's a reason why. And there's nothing, you never know how your question will start someone's wheels to turning and making them feel like something is wrong. You know, so we've been sharing about singleness is not a disease, and marriage is not a cure. That came from, that's what triggered this whole conversation. It came from one of my sister elder that I connected with in one of the other segments that we were having, and I think it might have been during the marriage, love, marriage, and ministry segment, and she made a comment in the chat about singleness. She said singleness is not a disease, and marriage is not a cure. And how many marriages have happened because people were rushing through this singleness thinking that marriage was going to solve what it was they were feeling in that space. Now, I don't want to chat it all up. I want to leave y'all some space. So come on, Bishop Claiborne, relationship coach, come on and share so far on this that we're y'all. He's rubbing his hands. He's ready to go. Come on and share with us a little bit about us kicking off this conversation.
First, I want to say, hey, Mama, good to see you. It's a blessing, Pastor Rosa, as well as all of the family. I see they coming on, so I'm sure the chat is going to be pretty on fire. It's been a minute since I've been actually on the stage with you guys, but I'm always in the chat. If I could get in on Thursday, kind of share some information, always doing that. I absolutely agree. The hard part about being single is not being satisfied. And where I'm at is teaching people how to be successfully single. Most people don't know how to be single. I went through that period of my life right before I went through divorce. After I got divorced, I had been dating and dealing with women the majority of my life, and so I had never been by myself, never had to. You know, that's not a bragging thing. It's just that statistically, there's more women out here than there are men, and there's more women that want a good man. You know, and if you are a good man, a gentleman, and know how to treat women, and you know, I feel like I'm a good man. And you know, there's a few that may not agree, but that's their problem. That's not my problem. And so I did not know how to go out. I mean, the divorce was a painful piece, and so I would go sit at, especially in that first year in the pandemic and all of that, I would go sit at restaurants by myself and would break down. I would literally break down and start crying, and then somebody told me that maybe you should sit at the bar. You know, and you know, us good church folks, we don't want to, you know, sit at the, or some of us. We don't want to sit at the bar, but I found out sitting at the bar, I became better because first and foremost, I got TVs, I can watch TVs. And usually sitting at the bar, it's never a couple thing. Usually sitting at the bar is a bunch of other single people. So, you know, we begin to sit at I sat there at restaurants, not ordering any drinks or anything, but you get your food fast. And then I give y'all a trick.
That's true.
If you sit at the bar and you're by yourself, you'll get your food a whole lot faster. I don't know what that is. That is absolutely there. And I felt myself, things begin to work for me. But then what happened is I started dating me, and I started getting successful and comfortable with dating me and become successfully single. And so single is not a disease. Everybody, as much as I teach, and you know, we teach this in our room about future husband and future wife, but the reality is everybody's not going to be married. Right. That is, even those that want to be married, because first and foremost, we got too many lists, too many issues. So you're not going to be married because you got too many lists And ain't nobody gonna reach your list, not even God. Ain't nobody gonna reach that. So that group is already eliminated. You're gonna be single because your list is too long and nobody's reaching that list. The other group is gonna be single is because you got trauma, triggers, and buttons. You know what we teach in our
Oh, yeah.
You got a lot of triggers and you got a lot of buttons. And don't nobody want to take on your trauma, your triggers, and your buttons. So you won't be married, because it's one thing that if they can't deal with it in the relationship, they are not going to deal with it in marriage. So you're going to be single. The third group that's going to stay, that's not going to get married, is the group that has a bunch of baggage. People ask me all the time, they say to me, but Bishop, everybody has baggage. Here is the thing. You travel, Lady Dawn, Pastor Rosa, you guys have traveled. Y'all been on the plane. So we understand this. There is 3 kinds of bags that you can take on the plane. One is called a check bag. That is your real big, heavy bag. It used to be 50 pounds. Then they cut us down to 50 pounds, and now they down to 40 pounds. But that's the check bag. That's the one that go under the plane. The second bag is the carry-on bag. The carry-on bag gives you a lot more. You can carry a lot more things, but the carry-on bag is still a nice size. And the third bag is called your personal bag. Now, Lady Dawn, you and I both know you pay for the check bag and you pay for the carry-on bag. They both cost you something.
Come
it's
on.
only the personal bag that don't cost you nothing. It's the smallest bag. And so while we may have baggage, people can deal with you on your personal bag because that's the one you dealing with your own stuff. But don't nobody want to help you with your check bag or your carry bag. You need to unpack that before you go into a relationship. So you're going to be single. The other group that's going to be single is people that have decided it's okay. It's okay to be single. Let me give you the last part before I let you go to Pastor Rosa. Marriage is not, and I am a witness to it. Marriage is not the cure all, the beat all.
That's it.
Marriage doesn't heal as people would like to say it does. If you are already broken, this marriage is not going to fix that brokenness.
That's it.
It is not going to fix that. Marriage is not going to fix singleness, because if you have a single mindset, you're going to be single inside of marriage. You're just in the marriage, but you're going to be single. So marriage is not the answer to your problems. However, marriage is an amazing thing. It is an amazing thing when 2 people have decided to work this thing out and have the mission for the marriage. But can I tell you why the problem, most things in marriage, and I'll end with this. People get married as individualists.
Right.
Me and you. So it's all about what you can do for me or what I can do for you. It's never about what can we do for the marriage. What is the marriage mission? What can we do for the marriage? And that's why you have a problem. So yes, single is not a death sentence. Some people are going to be single, get satisfied with it, enjoy being single, enjoy life, take yourself on a date. Ladies, buy your own house. And today's women are doing this. Buy your own house, buy your own diamonds, take your own stuff on vacation, enjoy life. Because people wait for other folks. What if he don't come? So now you're not going to enjoy it? No, enjoy life, do what you want to do. I go on a lot of trips now by myself, and I'm fine with it. I'm enjoying it because I promise you, if you go there, you go see somebody else. So marriage is definitely not the answer, and singleness is not a disease.
I love it. I love it. And I want to bring up one of our fellow commanders, Ken, one of our ladies' room members is also in the building. Anitra Ace Carter is here. Hey, Ken, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm great. You came in right on time. It's good to see you.
Ain't got enough oil for this kind of conversation. We don't have enough oil. You know, invited up. Lord, pray for her.
Listen, it's about to go down.
Don't do it, Bishop. Don't do it.
It's going down tonight. It's going down tonight. And Nate says, hey, Ace, She's like, she's greeting you. So I wanted to bring her up, and I wanted to make sure we say hello and good evening. Listen, y'all, like, subscribe, and share. Hit that like button for me on tonight. I appreciate it so much. I promise you, this is going to be an amazing conversation. I get excited when my people show up. I really do. I was excited when Bishop was coming. I was excited my mom was coming. I was excited my kin was coming, and I don't know how to act. I'm not going to promise y'all I'm going to behave well. I'm going to behave somehow. I just can't promise you it's going to be well. I'll repent tomorrow, but we gonna be real tonight. There's a comment I want to read, and then I want to share on the comments that you shared. So much good stuff. I loved it all. And then I want Pastor Rosa, prepare yourself to come on and share, ma'am. And Nate says, I'm not running away from singleness to get married. I will be running to the joy of being a wife. That's a good attitude to have. It really is. Talking about that transition. And that's what happens. A lot of people are running away from being single. They're trying to hurry up out of this space, not realizing that you don't need to hurry out of this space. Let what the Bible said, let patience have its perfect work. Let singleness have its perfect work, because the number one, and I've said this all month long, the number one is whole. It is not missing anything. There is nothing, as we say, there's nothing lacking, nothing missing, not at all. So there, in you being you and you being single, believe it or not, you actually have everything that you need already inside. God did not miss a thing when he created us, or whatever your moral compass is. Your creator did not miss a thing in creating who you are, because we were meant to be individuals. There's so many things that you said, Bishop. You talked about the biggest struggle in singleness is, one of the biggest struggles is not being satisfied. And if truth be told, we're never satisfied. The one thing that we long for, when you finally get it, you're content because you got it. But then what? You're not satisfied. How do we know this? Because then you go looking for something else. So our need for fulfillment is insatiable. It will never, ever end, And so, yeah, it's a struggle, and we struggle in singleness with not being satisfied. But I think that when you get to a place where you embrace you made the point of dating yourself, taking that time to date yourself. When you figure out how you need to treat you, then you will teach others how to treat you. Not the other way around. You don't get to decide how to treat me. I think Eleni Van Zandt once said, the person does not decide how to love me. I choose whether I want to accept how you're loving me. In paraphrasing it, so it's not up to you. If you can only love this way, you don't get to decide that this is all that I get from love. I get to decide if that's all I want from your love. The power is in you. So yeah, there's no running away from. That was really good. And I'm not running away from singleness, but we're running to the joy of being a wife. And you cannot be a wife or a husband until you become completely who you are, because that's what you want to bring to the table. Hey, Disciple Spencer is in the house on tonight. Welcome, Alethea. I hope I said your name right. Hill, not satisfied. That's right. We are not satisfied. And Disciple Spencer says, take time to love and heal yourself. Yes, you have to. As Bishop was talking about the baggage, the different types of baggage and luggage. Yeah, everybody gonna help you carry your personal thing because it's small. Everybody doesn't have the capacity to carry it. He'll help you with your carry-on, and they ain't got capacity to help you carry with your big luggage. That got to be checked because you can't even carry it. So how you expect somebody else to carry it? Okay, yes, I did. All right, thank you. I'm so glad I said your name right. I didn't want to mess it up. It's so pretty, Alethea. So that's really good. I love everything that you said. Y'all like, subscribe, and share. Invite someone into this space. you mentioned the list, the trigger. Some people are single because they got this list, this never-ending list of things. Like you ain't never gonna find all of that. Whatever it is, you'll never find all of it. I found that it's important if you're gonna make a list of all the things that you want to be in a relationship, not all the things that you want somebody else to be. How about we make that list? This is what I want to be in the relationship. I learned to do that, and then become that, so that I can attract that, and just be myself. You talked about the trauma triggers and buttons. Lord, yeah, y'all need to come in the prayer room for that, because Jesus, listen, we traumatize ourselves. We trigger our own selves with stuff, and Lord knows we push our buttons. We can push a button. And then you talked about the baggage and the it's okay group. Some people are okay with just being who and what you are. Disciple Spencer says, make a work on me list. Yeah, that's it. That's the list. I made a list of all the things that I wanted to be in a relationship, because I realized I kept showing up in the next relationship with brokenness, not baggage, but brokenness from the last relationship. And you're expecting somebody to fix something that they didn't break, and I had to figure out how I needed to fix what I allowed to be broken. There's personal accountability that comes with everything. No relationship ends because of one person. Yeah. I don't care. You could have still felt like in my last marriage, I did everything right that I was supposed to do. I showed up as a wife. I showed up as a friend. I showed up as a girlfriend. I showed up as everything that you needed me to be. But I still had errors in that marriage that added to the reason why we got divorced. And for me, in all transparency, because y'all know I keep it real, I don't even care. I tell all my business. It don't matter to me because I'm free. Okay. My problem, my mistake, my error where I erred in the marriage was in getting married. Knowing that I shouldn't have. Sometimes we make that mistake, because we connect in places that we know that we should not. And sometimes that alone, that's the setup for failure. Let's see. Lady Zinger's in the house. Hey, Lady Zin, Bloomfield is in the building. She says good evening to all. Disciple Spencer says, yes, it takes two to tango. And Ace, my kin, Anitra says, yes, my kin, work on me. She said, that's good. The error was getting married. And there's nothing wrong with marriage. Marriage is beautiful. So I'll second that lady. Yeah, I had to take ownership, because God was like, well, why are you here? You upset because of what? What were you expecting? Because you knew you weren't supposed to be here to begin with. So you got with, like, really? Like, that's how God talks. I don't know how he talks to y'all. He's talking like, for real? I told you not to do it, but you decided to do it. So I waited right here until you were finished doing it. Are you done now? So I learned not to make that mistake anymore. And I got a few more things I want to share, but I want to let everybody get in. Because Bishop, that was good. You just triggered me. See, I told you I was excited. I'm excited right now. I don't know how to act. Come on, mama. Alethea says, ouch. Yeah. It's personal accountability, because I realized that I was struggling with my singleness. Bishop, you said something, and then Mom, I want you to come on and share. But you said something that I think is really important, that we as women don't really realize or think about, the fact that you said that you struggled with being alone, with being in a relationship, and there's a million women out here that you could be with for whatever period of time that relationship lasted, or that situationship. We was in situationships before situationship was a thing, before it had a name. Women, we don't realize that men go through those periods. How it comes out for men shows up differently than women. Like you said, you will go from relationship to relationship to relationship because you could, but never taken that time to date you at that time. And women, we have to be mindful that when men have experienced a breakup, it's important that you find out, and this is just a little nugget, how long that's been before you decide to want to save him. Because that's what we do. We think that we're gonna come in and save you and heal your heart and do all of this, when that's not even the space that you're in at that time after a breakup. You know, women, we show up differently, but that's so good to, you know, that you share. And you're maybe the third man that I've recently heard share that, you know, that this is the cycle that you went through. I want to read this comment. Zen says, I wanted to make sure that I got what I needed. So I threw away my list and him to give me who he wanted me to have. And that's good. That's good. Sometimes you got to, it's okay to have a want and to have a desire. It is not, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you are so stuck on this list with no flexibility, you don't give God room to move at all. You might want to bless you something. If you think about it, we don't even know what we need half the time.
Correct.
We may know what we want, but we don't know what we need. Zen says, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, okay. Oh, same thing. She repeated. So she wanted what he had for her. So come on, Mom. Come on and share. So far, I hope y'all are enjoying. Like, subscribe, share, hit that like button. It's only going to get gooder and gooder. Fluffy Nation, we in the house talking about singleness, being secure in our singleness. It is cuffing season is upon us. I don't want y'all to get caught up in the okie doke, okay, with these temporary relationships for the winter months, because somebody needs a little bit more of your snuggles and your cuddles. You know, we want to make sure that you're good with being single. See, I'm wearing my thicker than a sticker hoodie today to represent for the Fluffy Nation. Come on, Pastor Rosa.
Wow. Bishop, you said a lot. You set the stage. Said a lot. Wow. Wow. Yeah, we have baggage. We come in relationships with baggage. And it is okay to be single, and it's great to be married. But we have to learn who we are, because the common factor in either one of those situations is us. So if I can't live with me, there's no way I'm going to be able to live with somebody else. I mean, and if that's true for me, that's true for that other person as well. And so I've been married, now I'm single. I've been married twice, and now I'm single. I don't have the single gift. I didn't have that. I wasn't given that.
Not your portion, Mom?
It's not mine. But you know, I know the rule. I started to go to place, you know, because in being pastor, you know, it's kind of difficult but you have to listen.
You rose it today. You rose it today.
That you're on. So, you know, you don't preach. You have to learn how to, you know, bring it down in simple terms, you know. So I'm learning how to be single. I'm learning how to be single. I'm learning how to adapt to my singleness and living alone. I'm learning a lot about myself, even at this age. Dawn is my youngest child. And I'm learning how to love me and appreciate me. I've always given space for me, because that's very important. My family had 85%. I had to have the other 15% for myself. And I got married at 18. So at 18, that was that was me. I have to have that time for me. I'll give you most of my time, but I have to have some of that time for me. And that's very important. And then one of the things that honestly amazes me is we ask for things, but then we don't prepare ourselves for it to come. We just want that. I want this, I want this, I want that. A list is important. A list is important. You have to know who you are, what you need, what you want. Otherwise, you will just open yourself up for anything. And that leads to divorce, because 5 years into a marriage, which was my situation, I wanted out. I wanted out, and I knew before I got in the marriage that this person honestly did not meet all of my needs, but I was willing to sacrifice me because I knew how he felt about me, and then we have this idealism about, if you're not acceptable, as you're growing up or whatever, you do things and set yourself up in things where you believe, okay, I'm in this status. I belong to this status of belonging. Wrong. You need to know who you are. You need to be true to yourself. You need to learn your weaknesses and your strengths. And as Bishop said, because you come with baggage. You come with baggage. We all come with baggage.
Right.
It's just a question of whether or not I can handle your baggage. Am I the one to handle your baggage? Are you the one to handle mine? I don't believe that anyone can absolutely secure us, because I believe that when you come into a relationship, being that it is casual, social, whatever, or if it's a relationship in a marriage, that security, there's a security that you bring into a relationship. That man has to know that you're securing him, as well as that he's securing you. It's reciprocal. We both were created with gifts, abilities. We may not have known who we were going to be, when we were first born, but we have those abilities. It depends on how we apply ourselves to better ourselves. At this point, for me, I really don't know, and it has nothing to do with age, really does not. I don't know, as much as I would like to see another face in where I live, but I'd like to set 2 cups of coffee, or I love to entertain. I love to entertain, but I just don't know if I really, really am ready for someone to share my most intimate spaces. And I really don't. I don't know, but I know that I would like to be across the table from someone, aside from my children, my grandchildren, and
Children are
and someone that thinks that I'm absolutely wonderful, and hear someone say, wow, you look good tonight, or those things, are important. Those things don't die. They remain. They remain. We go through different developmental stages, and so when you're past 70, listen, we take on a certain mindset. I didn't, because I'm going to live until the Lord either comes and returns, or until he calls me home. I intend to live a full life.
Right.
I intend to be me in every aspect. And even at this age, I'm going to be 80 in December. Even at this age, yes, even at this age, I expect that this person who I pray God sends, and that's the only way that person would be in my life, honestly, is if God sends him. And then he has to verify to me that he sent him.
Here you go.
Okay? Yes, it has to be verified that he sent him. But I'm prepared. I'm preparing me for that time, for that making space, and making space in my life. Or what's that song? I'll make room for you, but you have to make room for me too. It's not that you come with you and I come with me, and then we become one. But a lot of times we jump into things because we're lonely, my hormones, I don't have, and all of that. Those things do not make a marriage. They don't make a relationship. It makes a partnership that often fails because we don't even have what it takes to be in partnership with this person. So marriage is not the cure. It is not. Being single is not a curse.
Right.
It's just what situation we find ourselves in at that time, and we're still growing. Do we have to remember that the brain is the last thing that develops on a child. The brain is still developing after a child is born. And that brain, when the activities of our brain is gone, that it determines whether we are still living or not. And as long as we have brain activity, we should be doing something to better ourselves. I mean, it doesn't always have to be intimate relationship. Listen, we have relationships with people on our jobs.
Right.
We have relationships with the people that pay our salaries, and so we need to look at ourselves in that equation. How am I fitting in that relationship, which says volumes to me about me?
Right.
I need to be better at communicating. I need to be better at listening. I need to be better at just being still. I need to be better at knowing when not to say anything, and all those things are keys, are important also when you get into an intimate relationship. These are just basic things that we have to learn about, being a person. And then last, I want to say, this is something that that God showed me recently. It was when we were created, you're created in an image. And so we think that when we read that scripture, we're thinking that can I go that way, Dawn?
If
Can I go that way?
You're already there. I want to read some comments in a second, so go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. So go ahead.
we were created in an image. Adam had an image. Eve had an image. Eve didn't have Adam's image. They were two separate individuals. So we have to learn our image. This is who I am. This is who he is. We're opposites, yet when we come together, we are one. That takes work. So we don't stop because we come together today. We come together to work to make us better people. So unless you honestly get in a relationship where a person is going to challenge you to be 100% who you are, and unless you're willing to challenge that individual, you really need to question how you feel about that person, So no, marriage is not the cure, and singleness is not a curse or a disease. But in their prospective places, they're both an entity where we grow.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for that share, Martha. That's gems right there. Bishop be clapping for you. Anitra said, this is good teaching. And hold on, we got a super chat on tonight. Anitra said, Pastor, Mama looks good. Yes, she does, y'all. Y'all see where that come from? That's good stuff right there. That's right. She will be 80 in December. And that's one of the reasons why I invited her on tonight, because this is not just something that, struggling with singleness or experiencing singleness happens at all ages and all stages. Some people are widowed. Some people have never been married. Some people are divorced, and they need to know still, no matter what age or season or time or space of your life that you're in, singleness is still purposeful. There is still a reason. There is still, as she said, much life to live within your life just for you. So it doesn't matter, because a lot of times we think that as we get older and we age, like life is over, and we don't understand because we're not exposed to, and we don't hear from these different age groups that, I struggle with being single. I'm about not saying but I'm about to be 80, and I'm struggling with in being single. And now I have to learn, for whatever reason, that I'm single, because we think that at a certain age people stop living and desiring things and wanting, like she said, she wants companionship. She wants to put out 2 cups of coffee. I don't like the fact that she's saying she don't want me to have one of them, but because her kids are amazing, I am entertaining and I am a wonderful company. But I understand that as beautiful as
Absolutely.
she don't want to keep looking at me for the rest of her life. And I love her pretty little face, but I don't want to keep looking at hers either. He wants some other kind of company. And so we need to be sensitive to the fact that everyone in their season of singleness still has desires and needs and wants.
I know, Mom. If I get 80 and ain't married, Mom, you different than me. I will not be getting married at 80. I will have somebody that can come over and sit on the porch with me, and we can laugh together and go places together and so on. So, but marriage, I'm not going down. Shh. Lady Dawn, going down the aisle at 80. I'm not going down nobody's aisle at 80. Okay? I don't want to see you every day at 80. I just want to come over, drink lemonade on the porch with me, you know what I mean? And we can laugh and joke, and then you can go home. Take your time out, baby. Take your time, call Uber and let me send you home. Because what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to deal with young craziness and old, because at 80, they really say whatever they feel like saying. Oh, I ain't living with that. So I'm a mama's, she's a little bit different. Maybe by the time I get there.
No. She say whatever. Her filter fell off about 10, 15 years ago.
You don't got no filter by the time. What? And I'm gonna be worse. My filter is already gone. So I know it's time to eat. No, you ain't gonna like that. So I'm on. When she kept saying 80, and I'm like, do I want somebody at 80? I better have somebody before I get to 80. I'm not gonna get 80 and then want somebody every day.
You said you ain't locking in by 60 and then get locked in at 80.
You already
we have to be
here in the next 4 or 5 years.
You're gonna be a professional single person. You're gonna be really teaching the people. You're gonna show them, how to walk out being single.
I'm going to be forever single. You understand what I'm telling you? I'm not pushing the envelope in the next.
We have a friend. She's over 80. She just got married. Monique's mother. She just got married. Beautiful.
She sure did. Sure did. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm kind of with Claiborne on that one. If you ain't locking it in, Mom be 80, I'll be 55. What is this? In November. If it don't happen again by the time I can't. I don't know. I'm just not wired that way. But salute to you, Mama. I ain't mad at you. I'm with you, like you. We could have all the dates that you want. Come up, listen, we can hang out, have the best time. But bruh, you got to go home. I don't know where you're going to put your head, but your feet got to move from my porch at this time, okay? Anitra says, I love this, Pastor Mama Rosa, the honesty, transparency, and wisdom. Yes, and again, and that's why I'm so grateful to have the diversity on the platform tonight, because these are things that if you did not hear, we are assuming that those who are older than us who are seasoned and experienced on levels that we are not are just okay with just being by themselves. Hey, y'all, and with that in mind, cuffing season is real at all ages and all stages, because some people are just looking for that extra body warmth for this cold winter season. That's all. Disciple Spencer says, Mom, I'm in the same place as you. I love my space, and I don't know if I'm ready to share with someone else. That's a great, great point. She also says, I've been single for a while now, that I don't know how to share my space with someone. Bishop Claiborne said some people will be single because they keep swimming in the wrong pool. No, watch your voice, sir. Watch your voice, okay? Watch your voice. We gonna circle back to that. We go.
That's what I was trying to say. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah. He also said some people will be single because they don't know how to talk to people. We gonna circle back to those two things because you're gonna have to touch on that, because while we're talking about being secure in our singleness and satisfied in our singleness, we also are sharing about that transition from single to married. And these are the things that we got to think about. And especially like cuffing season is a real thing. We're saying it all month. It is the time, usually begins in October and ends in mid-February to late February, where people are really looking for temporary relationships, men and women. It's not just one side, it's men and women. Some women are looking for that brother to be that body heat for these winter months, because we know that the winter really changes and affects people because you can't go out. It's darker more than it's lighter during the day. And that affects you mentally. It affects you emotionally. It affects you spiritually. And we wondering why all that people get sad and they get depressed. You know, why people are not as jovial or as happy. Why we're not as outgoing. And so you want to lock in someone because you don't want to be by yourself. In the summertime, it's different. You could be by yourself and go out by yourself and have a good time because the weather is beautiful. In the winter, when it's cold, don't nobody want to go outside. And it's a season where you have to sit by yourself, whether you want to or not. And we struggle through that. So during cuffing season, people are looking to partner with someone just to have a body. And don't allow yourself to get caught up in the okie doke of falling for that during this time, because this is like a pre-cuffing season. This is scouting time, you know. It's September. They started to look it up and line it up, you know, figure out like who can I get to partner with, who can I talk to get their attention, you know. And they approach you a lot of times in a way that will make you think that they are looking for a long-term relationship because they want to lock it in. So they got to sell it like it's a real thing. But I'm like, bruh, listen, if you wasn't checking for me in the summertime, if I knew you in the summertime and you wasn't checking for me in the summertime, you definitely ain't going to hear from me in the winter. You're going to have to struggle through this cold season by yourself. Okay, because this Fluffy Nation member is not sharing no space. All right, if we can't do all 4 seasons, we ain't doing not near one. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, you gotta be, the important thing about it is not being insecure about being by yourself. Because when you are insecure about being by yourself, everything sounds good. The least bit of attention will feed your insecurities, and that's how you fall for it. You know, that's how you begin to open up and become vulnerable to being in this space, allowing your singleness, to your dissatisfaction with being single, to speak louder than your satisfaction of being who you are. So y'all like, subscribe, and share. On tonight, we are talking about being single in September, cuffing season, the transition from being single to married. So much good stuff has been shared so far from Bishop and from my mom, Pastor Rosa. I just want to also add in before we go to Anisha, because Bishop, we're gonna have to come back to those 2 comments that you made so you can share in that. We pinning it for the moment, but we coming back to that because that's some good stuff right there, because these are things that will keep you from getting to the marriage space. You know, when we're talking about being prepared, as Mom said, you know, preparing, you asking for something, but are you preparing for it? That's one of the things that we talk about and we pray about in the prayer room. You know, we're not just taught to pray and ask, but make room and prepare for what you're asking for. You know, don't ask for the relationship if you haven't done the work on you to be in the relationship. You know, God's not going to give you something so you can ruin it. You know, and again, whatever your moral compass is, it's okay. Again, y'all know I said before, we are not a Christian channel, but we are all believers, those of us who share. So God is our compass, is our moral compass. Whatever yours is, that's fine, and we respect that. But for us, it's God. So, you know, Mom made that point about being prepared or preparing for what you're asking for. And your identity. One thing I want to say before I move on to Anitra about being secure in your singleness, and this is for men and women. A lot of times people are looking for, we have the wrong expectations. We put heavy expectations on outer people. And we're looking for other people to define us. Mm-hmm. So you go into this relationship with the need. I think we've all been here. We've all had a need to be needed. And so we go into the relationship with someone who may not be good for us, but they need us the most, because this is where I feel most useful and most valuable. But the truth is that in those spaces, what we're really doing is, in some senses, we end up selling ourselves to be accepted instead of, because we are not strong enough to just be okay with being who we are. And we're waiting for someone else to define and validate us. I want to say that when you have a partner who is waiting for you to give them identity, that is when a lot of the insecurities start to show up. They show up, and I got to put my glasses on, because you have to show up in the relationship being 100% of who you are. When your partner is waiting for you to give them an identity instead of them knowing who they are, all of your insecurities will start to show, because when they do not validate, when they do not compliment, when they do not encourage or affirm, you will start to feel a certain kind of way because you're not secure within yourself. And you're waiting for them to make you who you are. When you this is why you have to show up being 100% of who you are, because when you get into marriage spotlights these things. It doesn't cure them. It will spotlight your insecurities. And marriage should enhance who you are, not create who you are. You gotta show up being you. You can't wait to get married to become. The only thing that you're going to become is a wife, and the two of you will now start becoming a whole different entity than what you are, but you still have to be, there is individualism within unity in marriage. You know, so marriage just enhances everything that you are. It doesn't create who you are or your identity. And if it does, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because you'll forever be looking for yourself inside of a relationship that's external instead of looking for yourself in the main relationship, which is internal, the relationship with yourself. You know, so this is important. It is so important that we show up being 100% of who we are. I just wanted to share that, Bishop. We listen. We gonna circle back to these comments because I'm gonna need you to break them down and expound on that. Come on, Anitra, jump in and share with us before we go back to Bishop.
My goodness, I don't even really know what to share. I think I might want to hear the Bishop's comments. Now, I do have the oil for him because he's gonna need it. I know he does. I got it ready. We can speak it all over. But I'm listening to the conversation and I'm just thinking, you know, as I've been attending each week, these about cuffing season and actually looking into it, like really looking into it and kind of looking at myself, like over time, you know, did I fall into that? I actually saw myself being that way. I saw a relationship that I had. It was a temporary relationship. And by the time spring came around, I was like, why am I with this person? I really didn't know at that time why but it was just for they were good company in the wintertime. But I remember saying, this is not somebody I would be with. So why would I spend 2-3 months hanging out with a person that I would not want to be with in a long term? I have really been doing some self-reflection. I don't fall into this myself. And I shared a couple of weeks ago how I had been going through a time where I started to feel very lonely. And my moral compass, of course, is as a believer, I had to pray about it and ask God, hey, what is this that I'm feeling? I had to acknowledge it first. You feel lonely. Be honest, Denitra. You're lonely. And loneliness tends to push you to a place where you will accept and do things that you would not normally do. It really does play with your, and you begin to now seek out what you think will comfort you. Like, and I'm gonna just use this. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
You see Bishop sit all the way up. You know, made him sit.
You really start to everything that you know about yourself, you know what to do. You begin to now discard that for a temporary fix. It's almost like going all day without eating, and then at 4 o'clock you're starving, and you'll eat anything just for that moment. Chips, a candy bar, whatever. And then you can eat so much because I do this. I'm speaking to myself right now. You can do that at 4 o'clock. I eat all kind of stuff, and then it makes me sick.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't have the proper diet to sustain me throughout the day. So in these months and times of loneliness, am I doing what I need to sustain me? So I will tell you some things that I have done because of this show. So thank you, Lady Dawn. I looked at some times during each month, October, November, and December. And I have made particular trips to go home and spend time with my family because that is an area that fills me when I'm lonely because I live away from home. And if I did that intentionally so that I don't feel that void with a man that is unnecessary to my future. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm preparing myself, even in my singleness, to not be taken by the cuffing season.
Come on.
I'm preparing myself not to be seduced by the cuffing season. Like I'm telling you, it's blowing my mind that I saw myself in that after I looked around, that I saw myself with the actual person. And it's not that they were a bad person. I just knew there were nobody I had a future with. So I wasted their time and mine for a temporary fix. And that was unfair to them as well. So man, I when I tell y'all, you have to prepare for this season. I am literally being intentional about what I do during this time with myself, what I lend my ear to, what I lend my eyes to, so that I don't get caught in a situation that is unproductive and fruitless. Because I do desire to be married, preferably before 80. Nothing wrong with it, Mama Rose. If I got to wait till I'll wait it out. I believe God has the man for me. I believe He does. I'm hoping in the next couple of years, but we'll see what God says. But nevertheless, that's my desire. That's my desire. So if that is my desire, everything I do has to be intentional, including taking care of myself, taking care of my mental space, and preparing myself to not fall into pitfalls that I know that can be readily available to me.
That's good.
Right, I'm gonna leave that and let the bishop. I'm gonna sprinkle this oil, and I'm gonna let the bishop answer some questions. Because I need to hear about this swim. I need to hear about this pool because sometimes the pool is unclean as well.
Yeah, we go get there. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. My kid, you brought up a good point about loneliness and alone. I had made a note earlier. The thing about loneliness is that it comes and it goes. It's temporary. And a lot of times we illuminate the moment of loneliness to make it bigger than what it is because it's uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable. How many other uncomfortable moments and spaces have we been in? And what do? You got to pause and breathe through it. I know I went through that one time. I didn't know what it was. And actually, I knew what it was when I was going through a lonely period. but I didn't want to accept that I was feeling lonely. Because I was like, I don't do lonely. I don't know what they're talking about. I ain't lonely, just like, it's not a thing. Not this girl, because loneliness and dawn don't go together. It's just, but the truth of the matter was, when I looked around, there's a difference in being alone and being lonely. And I had to really sit with myself, as uncomfortable and as difficult as it was. And I had to say to myself, you are alone, yes, but why are you feeling lonely? What is it that you feel like you are missing because you are alone? There's nothing wrong with this alone time. You've actually been begging for it, looking for it, couldn't wait, for kids to be out the house and nobody here so that you could have this space to yourself. Now you have it and you're struggling with it because silence sometimes is really loud and we struggle with that silence, So we have to remember that loneliness comes and goes. It's only temporary. Pause and breathe through it. It's not forever. I started to go to bed. I had to tell myself, go to bed. I don't care if it's 8:30, go to bed. Because that loneliness and in those lonely moments, it will cause me to pick up my phone. It'll cause me to find a text message. It'll cause me to go back to, find some, I used to keep cards. I'm very sentimental, so I keep like Christmas cards and birthday, all those kinds of. It caused me to go looking for a card or something where some young man, somebody done said something to me that I needed to hear that made me feel some kind of way. You go back to try to create a feeling in the loneliness instead of just dealing with it, and that's what trips you up. Because then you'll read that and you'll remember. You remember this one immaculate moment, and it's just one. It's not, because if it was more than one, you still be together. But the one immaculate moment that they showed up will have you tripping, thinking maybe we can make another, and that's how we get caught up. So loneliness is it's temporary and it comes and goes. Alethea says, dang, y'all, where's the hope? There is hope. Hope is all around us. But the thing about it, Alethea, is that in order for us to get to the hope, we got to get through the rough stuff. Because if we don't get through the rough stuff, the sun will never look bright. It will never look bright. If you do not deal with the things that are in the way that cloud our judgment, you will never be able to realize how bright, the sun really is. I hope that's making sense to you, so there's always hope, but we don't want to have false hope. And that's what happens in our singleness. Sometimes we give ourselves a lot of false hope. Because we're not willing to accept where we're at. So we just accept anything that everybody or anybody or the best silver tongue talker, whatever the best line is, we will accept that. I'm just saying, y'all, I'm just saying. I'm going to read some comments and we're going to swing back to Bishop. Bishop was saying marriage is for the mature. Listen, it is not for the faint at heart. It is not for the weak. The goal in marriage is to stay married forever. Was it Jonathan? Forever is a long time. That part, that's what we say. The goal with marriage is no one divorced set out to get divorced. We didn't have a divorce plan. We had we planned for the wedding, did not plan for the divorce because it wasn't an option at the time, but the goal in marriage is to stay married and to the same person. Because some people are serial husbands, serial wives. You may stay married forever, but you switch partners. Marriage is a status. It's the partner. So that's the goal. It is for the mature. It is absolutely for the mature and for those who need are willing to partner. We talked about sharing space, and one of the things that I thought about too was number one, do you have enough of you to share when it comes to marriage? And are you ready to share yourself and your space. These are things that you got to think about. If you have not satisfied yourself in singleness, you are going to be real selfish when it comes to marriage. You know, because it should only be to add to, not take away. If I gotta feel like I don't want to share my juice with you, then I don't need it. Because it's little things like that people argue and fuss about, like you drank the rest of my juice, you know, just little things like you ate my chip. I had 6. Like, okay, but you still got 5. Like, it's real though, right? It's real. A man will go get food.
Not 6 chips.
That's the 6. You gotta count them out. Don't play. You know how we do. A man will go get food and ask you, babe, you want something to eat? Women, we say no. What happens? He comes back with his food. Are you sure? He says, you say, yeah, I'm sure. He said, you positive? Because I'm going, okay? And if you want something, change your mind, text me, call me, tell me. All right, before, okay, no, we don't say nothing. Man comes home with the food. He's ready to sit down and eat his stuff. And what happens? We come and nuzzle up and set it up. Oh, let me bring you something to drink. Let me bring you a napkin so we can get in that space to see what they got. And then we dip in their food and you wonder why he's mad.
Come on, now give me a little taste, though. I just want to taste what you got.
You know what I'm saying? But he asked you, did you want something? And if we were honest and we said, well, I don't want nothing, but I want to share whatever you get, then maybe he would buy a little bit more because he ordered his meal according to his appetite. But these are the things that if you're not ready to share, I know a few divorces that happen because dipped in the man's plate one too many times. He feels disrespected. You know what I'm saying?
That's the fun part. That's the fun part.
But for who?
Come on, Mama Rose, tell them.
I'm just saying.
Fun
Steak
part.
looks so good on your fork. The steak look good on his fork. It just something about the steak on his fork.
It looks better on your plate.
That's true.
If it's on your plate, it looks much better.
Right. See, but when you start counting how many spaghetti noodles you got on your plate and you get mad because he took, like I'm saying, like we got to be fair in this thing. We can't be dipping in there and I'm sorry, women, I know y'all want to kick me out the club but you can't because I'm here to stay. I'm on the ladies team, but this is reality. But these are the things like, do I have enough of me to share? You cannot be selfish in marriage. It's
do you want him to eat the spaghetti off your plate or you want him to eat the spaghetti off somebody else's plate?
How about that?
Share.
Right.
Listen, let him have that 6 whatever it was that you had chip.
Number 6 chip. Right. The 6, let him have it. I'm like, baby, you know what? You eat this chip, you have as many as you like. If you keep eating them at this table in our house. No, you ain't got to go nowhere else for no chips or spaghetti or juice. You don't even got to go nowhere for ice. I'll give you mine. Don't worry about it.
If you want him, let him have that 6 chip.
There you go. Anitra said it's seasonal depression. She also said, I say people are lurking to find a body, lurking like a predator. It happens. It does happen. Bishop said it's also the holiday season, which it's about family and parties. So people get together to have someone to do the holiday and parties together. And that is so true. Again, absolutely true. Zinja said, I'm definitely going to have to catch the replay on this. It's going too good. She said, I've got to support my husband. Love y'all. Yes, she's over there checking out my brethren, Gregory Bloomfield, on his show tonight. Also, he is no stranger here. He comes on as well when he can. Disciple Spencer says, know your worth. Bishop said, marriage will also show you who you are not. Absolutely. That part. You may think you one thing, but it is sure no, you're not as nice as you think. You're not as sweet as you you're not as kind. You're not as gentle. Yvonne Eric said Ace got that oil on deck. He said it's that olive oil. Lord have mercy. And Nate says, I'll buy him another white chocolate Kit Kat. I just can't share those 4 sticks. Help me, God. Listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at Nate.
It works.
Listen, but that's what we talking about, is sharing. But you may not be willing to share yours because you only got 4 bars. That's it. I understand. All 4 count. But if you buy him his own, you got to buy backup. You got to buy backup. There, whether you eat it or not, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Let's eat them together. But that's what we're talking about. Like, do you have enough of you to share, and are you ready to do so? So, Bishop, we're swinging it back to you, our resident expert relationship coach, on tonight. I'm going to go back and find the comments that you made about some people are single. I hope y'all enjoying this conversation. I want you to like, subscribe, and share. Invite someone into the room. We are sharing today on singleness, from being single to married, being secure in our singleness, the transformation from single to married. If you have been joining us all month long, we have been talking about cuffing season. Singleness is not a disease. Marriage is not a cure. We want you to be prepared for relationship at the right time, but be whole in who you are before you get there. Come on, Bishop, because you put some hot comments up there talking about some people will be single because they keep swimming. You keep swimming. Notice the verb. I just want to, because this is like Bible study for me right here. Notice the word placement. Okay. So what are we going to exegesis? Some people we say because they keep, that's the key, they keep swimming in the wrong pool. You blaming the pool. It's you. It's you. It says some people are single because they don't know how to talk to people. It's you. It's you. Come on, Bishop, because I'm excited. Come on, share.
Absolutely great share from both Rosa and from Anitra, sharing some just great tips. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I hear it all the time. You know, I am one of the lead moderators on When the Right One Comes. So I deal with this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hear this every week. I've been hearing it for the last 3 years. The pool got pee in it. The pool is nasty and so on and so forth. And I'm like, I keep hearing you blaming the pool, but you keep swimming in that pool. So I've never seen anyone blame. How can you blame the inanimate object on something that you keep doing? You can't say the chair keep breaking. The chair does not keep breaking. You keep sitting on that chair and you break the chair. The chair, then if you set the chair by itself, the chair wouldn't do absolutely nothing. It would be fine. It would not just fall apart on its own. You're blaming the pool. And how do we see the blaming? All the time on social media. The men are this, the men are this, the women are this, the women. You're blaming the pool when the reality is you keep swimming in the pool. We hear people say there are no good men in my city. There is 7.1 billion people in this world. Maybe your man is not in your city. Maybe your woman is not in your state.
Maybe
they're not in your country. And so that's too far-fetched. I keep telling people I don't have a problem with the pool because I don't swim in pools. I swim in oceans.
Oh, watch your voice, sir.
Where there are bigger fish. Where there are bigger fish.
I ain't got Anitra sitting up. Seems
I swim in where there are bigger fish to catch and more quality fish. See, there has never been any fish. You have never felt, as a matter of fact, no one pool has fish in it. There is everything there but fish. As a matter of fact, pools are stagnated. So that's where you get all of your flies and your mosquitoes. That's where you get all your bugs at, because pools are stagnated. Most pools are house pools, so you don't have a consistent flow of chlorine that can kill things. So you're swimming in something, looking for something that is not there. God, that's good. You're swimming in pools where there is never any fish. If you'd have told me that you swim in lakes or rivers, that is an upgrade. I don't understand, why do you swim in something where the water doesn't flow? Pool water is a stagnated. It stands still. Here's the great thing about rivers, lakes, and oceans, is that the water is forever flowing. It is a forever flowing. And the great thing about oceans is that there are so many different types of wildlife. There's so many types of fish. So you don't have to have a whale if you don't want one, because there's some sharks out there. You don't have to deal with a shark. I'll have to come back. You have to let me come back and break down what each. You don't have to deal with a shark. When
Please
you
do.
have a dolphin. Dolphins, let me just give you the piece of very educated. They're very intelligent. They know where they're going. They know what they're doing. They're one of the most intelligent fish out there. And the problem is that you went and got a whale because you were satisfied with the way it looked and its size, but you can really only handle a dolphin. The problem is that most people try to grab a shark, which is somebody that's always on point, somebody that's in tune, somebody that's a hustler and a grinder. And the reality is that a shark don't play no game. It will bite your head off. But you want to date this shark, but you really should be over here with these minnows. You should be over here with these minnows. The problem is that you mistake the minnows when they really look like piranhas. You thought it was a minnow and you got a hold of it and it was a piranha and it was more or less killing you. The problem is that you're not satisfied with a piranha. You really want to that's all over the place. Because
shut your mouth, Bishop.
Handle somebody that is solid. That's the good thing about the ocean. There's all kinds of things there. There's all kinds of fishes there that you can have your pick of the litter. The problem is that you keep dating the pool. You keep jumping in the pool. And if you're not careful, I've never seen anybody break their neck jumping in the ocean, but I've seen people hurt themselves jumping in pools.
Yeah, okay, capacity is different. The capacity is different.
Again, I have never seen anyone break anything jumping in the ocean, but I've seen a whole lot of people break something jumping in the pool. So you got a broken heart, broken promises, broken dreams because you keep jumping in the same pool. Why don't you find yourself jumping in the ocean where I can guarantee that I may find what I want? I can find the pick of the litter. There is a difference between the great thing about the ocean is that you can swim on surface or you can go deep sea diving. You got enough capacity to go deep into love and really find out what you need and who you want. That is the problem that I have, is that people spend too much time swimming in pools when they really should be swimming in oceans. And that is what most of us are dealing with. How do I get in the ocean? Anything that I need, anything that I want, whatever I'm looking for. The problem is that, first of all, I need to find out what I need, because every fish is not good for my nutrients. It's not good it's not healthy for me. I need to find the fish that really has omega-3 in her.
Oh.
She can heal some areas about me. People don't understand that men should eat more
Come
fish.
on, sir.
Because fish carry omega-3, but it's only certain fishes. And omega-3 help heal areas of your body. You got to find a woman that carries that omega-3 with her that can bring such a level of healing. But know what you're ready to handle. Know what you have the capacity to handle. Everybody can't. You never really see people reel in whales. Whales are one of the very few animals that never get caught. They beach themselves, but they never get caught because you couldn't handle what it would take to really bring in a whale. The reality is you can't bring a whale in with a rod and a worm. Right. It would take a net to bring in a whale. Can you really handle a woman that or a man that has the whale mentality, that they understand who they are? Some of them are bigger than life. See, that's what a whale is. I had a woman say to me one time, she said, it's hard dating you because when you walk in the room, you suck the air out of the room. I said, what do you mean by that? She says, I think that I'm known until you come in the room. And then everybody knows you, or everybody wants to meet you, or everybody wants to touch you. And that became a problem in relationship, is because she was dating a whale. She couldn't handle she had no capacity of who I was. Even the bigger than life, especially in the kingdom. It's just who I am. Some people want to marry women some men can't handle women that are sharks. That's a go-getter that can handle that. She don't take no tea for her fever, as the old people say. She don't take no tea for her fever. She's that go-getter. And a lot of men, here's the problem, is that you'll date a shark, but you want to turn her into a guppy when you get her home. And she doesn't know how to make that transition. She doesn't know how to move to that. You don't want her to grind. You want her to stay home. You want her to stop her dreams. You want her to quit her job. You want her to become a traditional woman. And you see a lot of women die because you moved me from being the shark that I was to making me be this traditional, follow the rule. And I've never been that kind of person. And so that's the problem is, and I'll end with that. I'll have to come back and really break it all down for you. I didn't even get into the crabs. I didn't even get into the lobsters.
Oh, my.
Well, and we got to be able to, so you got to let me come back and I'll break down how I teach that relationships, who you date, who you marry, determine what you had. But again, you got to get out of the pool. There's nothing in there but flies and mosquitoes, things that aggravate you, agitate you, gnats, things that bother you. That's what's in the pool. So if you notice, the more people who swim in the pool, when they call you Lady Dawn, they are always frustrated and agitated because they went in there looking for fish, and what they caught was a gnat. They went in looking for fish, and what they caught was a mosquito, and the mosquito brought a germ. It brought a disease when it bit them. So let's get out of the pool, y'all. Let's go start swimming into the ocean. And so let me, before I go to the next one, maybe somebody want to comment on that or say something, or let's see what the chat have to say before I go to the next one.
Listen, you lit it up here. Let me see what we got here. Listen, say, come on, sir. Teach. Who is this man? Because you was talking real good. Welcome, Alonzo Hall, social media insurance brother. So glad you made it on tonight. We are glad to see you. Love you much for always being here and sharing. Anitra says she's throwing her shoe at you. So now I hope you got enough oil on you so it'll slip off. Don't leave no mark. Because I don't want the people talking about you when you show up for prayer in the morning, wondering why Bishop got a bump on his forehead. We don't want to talk about that. Alonzo says salute. No, nobody. Listen, you done dropped so much oil right here, right now. There ain't too much that anybody can say at this point. That's good. No, we gonna bring you back in October. When we get off of here, we gonna lock in on October date and just bring you back for relationship talk and make it happen. Because you were talking real good about the pool, the ocean. He said he don't fool with the pool, y'all. You go to the ocean where you could deep sea dive and have choices. That's the problem. You don't cast you blocked yourself from choices because you won't get out the pool that you already know is infested.
It's infested.
But you know the thing about the pool is, how did it get that way? Because when it started out, it was clean. So what happened? So whose fault is that?
We blame other people for contaminating, but the reality is that you did some contamination yourself.
Exactly. But we can't get the attention unless we play the victim. Absolutely. And then when we play the victim, it allows us not to be healed. I want you to heal. They say the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So I want you to heal so I can stay broken, and so that you can soothe my brokenness while you're healed and I don't have to, because you're healed.
I'm blaming everybody else.
Yeah, God forbid I do the work. God forbid I do some work. Like, we all going to show up with baggage. We're all going to show up with some scratches and some cracks. We're all going to, but like you said earlier, that personal bag that you carry on that's free, people don't mind. And you don't need anybody to help you carry that. So that one we don't have a problem with. But, we're expecting everybody else to manage our heavy load. And we don't want to put in on lightening the load. Pack light, people. Learn how to pack light. Just one of the things that we talked about last week, I believe I was saying about managing what's in your bag. Mm-hmm. There's some things I got to open up my bag. I'm sorry, Mommy. Let's get right to you. There's some things I got to open up my bag and look at what I put in it. And I got to be willing to go through it and take things out, like we do spring cleaning. I got to be willing to do that spring cleaning in my own life before I decide to bring my bag, or before I even decide to go on this trip of relationship and marriage. I don't want to be weighed down. You shouldn't want to be carrying so many things. Why? Why are we wanting to show up in relationship with baggage from relationships 2 or 3 or 4 relationships ago? Because we never slowed down long enough to become secure in who we are and heal ourselves. And instead, we're bringing all of our stuff to the next person who's just trying to show up authentically and really be there for us. And we drain them, and we don't even know how to receive them. We don't know what authentic looks like anymore. We don't know what genuine looks like anymore, because we still too stuck in our own damages, in our own wounds, in our own. issues. We still carrying all that stuff. So, we got to show up better. Come on, Mom, and then Bishop, get to the next one too. You talked about you don't know how to talk to people. Come on, Mom. You want to say something?
I think that in listening to Bishop, you can kind of picture people, in those situations. And I think in all honesty, if we're in relationships, you have to make up your mind whether you want to be married or you want to be single. You shouldn't get married if you want to be single, and you shouldn't, and you should prepare yourself to get married if you're single and you want to be married, because then we keep jumping in and out of things, as Bishop's saying, jumping in the pool and looking for, but when you find the fish, what you gonna do when you find the fish? You just found, and then you're gonna move on, or what? What are your intentions? Because I think sometimes we miss a lot of potentials because we're not ready. It's September, so I just need somebody to be here until May, that type of thing. The problem is what you're looking for, what you're willing, what you're open to, and then we complain about, well, this person did that, but but we're adults. And so, and then, if I throw this word in there, discernment, at no point did you not discern that this person really was not, and so why do we continue to stay in those situations when we already know, I don't like this, I don't want to be here anymore, this person is not fitting into we have this accountability to ourselves, and I think we neglect ourselves. I had a counseling class today, and one of those points that she was saying is that we stay in things too long until we are overloaded. But at what point do you listen to the signals telling you? At what point do you listen to? So you're accountable. We are accountable for however long we stay in these situations when those flags start going off. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we in this for? You want to be single or you want to be married? If you were single and it didn't work out, then you know what? Then you got to look at what you were in and be honest with yourself. You either want to play or you want to be serious.
Yeah, no, that's good, Mom. That's good. I don't think we use discernment. We discernment has become such a catchphrase right now that people don't even understand what is really its real purpose. It sounds cute, just like everybody's saying demure right now. It's like, it's the thing to say and do. But the real meaning and content is far removed, because truth be told, we don't even need discernment in those matters, truthfully, because you already know what you in it for. You know why you're staying, and you're staying because it is satisfying a temporary fix. You deem that it is worth the risk. It's worth to have the moment than not to. And then we want to act like it's more than it is, but no, you're getting exactly what you want. So don't be shocked at the end of it. Don't be, because you agreed to stay in this knowing. And like Anitra said, a lot of people are comfortable in the pool because it's self-contained. You're comfortable in this space right now. You're comfortable with settling, for this temporary fix because it's self-contained. I can control this, I'm not, I don't have to be at risk. I can decide how much. There's no risk or challenge there, but you make that perfect point of, and all of that is accountability. Like you being accountable for this is the choice that you made. So be accountable for it. Don't be surprised. You got what you wanted. Say thank you and you're welcome, and and go on. And that's what you decided because you knew. So set that right expectation. Come on, Bishop. Talk about, yeah, we bringing you back next month. We're gonna talk after this, bring you back next month and have relationship talk. So because you can't come up here dropping all of this whale, shark, crab, guppy, you know what I'm saying, whitey,
horses and starfish,
octopus, dolphin, ocean stuff, and then just like drop on. You can't do that. That ain't right. It ain't right. Come on, sir. Talk about this.
The good thing is, and I mean, what Anitra said on the end is so true. Most people are intimidated by the ocean because they're unsure how to manage the open water, and that's so very true. I'll stay in my little circle. I'll stay in my little space because it's very easy for me to deal with just these people right here. I don't want to expand myself. But here's the good thing, and I wanted to help Mama when she said something earlier. The one thing I love about the ocean, and people are not going to like this, Lady Dawn, and they're probably going to tell you don't invite me back. But
that's too bad. It's okay. I'm good. You know where I stand.
This is the good thing about the ocean. You don't have to keep what you catch.
Watch your voice.
You can throw it back.
Yes, you can throw it back, Bishop.
The good thing about the ocean, different than a pool. There ain't nothing there, but you catch something. Because if you catch a bite from all of the infestation, you got to deal with that situation. But the one thing about an ocean, you don't have to keep what you catch. You can throw it back. What does that mean? People stay in relationship that they are not satisfied. People stay in relationship that they know it's not a good situation. People stay in relationship because they feel guilty, because they feel bad, because they want to deal with, oh man, I'm in this relationship now and I don't want to hurt their feelings. No, and people don't like this. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'd rather hurt your feelings while I'm dating you than to marry you and go through a divorce. What? I know it's 8:30, so now Lady Dawn said I got permission to go where I need to go. It is better. It is better. And for anybody who had to deal with it, I know that you don't like the hurt. None of us like it. But I would rather be, me as a man, I would rather be thrown back in the dating situation than to get married and it's all hell living with me or hell living with you. No. I would rather be in the space of being, you can be thrown back in the ocean and let somebody else catch you. Let somebody else deal with you. Let somebody else handle you. Let somebody else draw you in, bring you in.
Let somebody else do it.
I got several options. I can enjoy you and eat you. I can enjoy you, or I can take my time and scale you and clean you. And sometimes that's a lot of work. I can put you up on a plaque and admire my great catch that I have, and put you up on a plaque and admire you, and you'll be my trophy, and everybody gets to see you, and everybody gets to enjoy you. Or I can literally get you out of the ocean, find a great koi pie, put you and me in it, and we have space to grow together. I just
not the koi pie.
I gotta come back. I'm sorry. I understand if I can get in the ocean, I want to help Mama out. You know, I feel like I'm in my room.
Come on. You know you home. You know you home.
Yeah, you know I feel like it. Understand the great thing about the ocean. And I tell you, Sheila from Bravo, she blessing me, right? Because the great thing about the ocean, Lady Dawn, and a lot of your listeners may not like this.
It's all right.
You can throw it back. You don't have to keep it forever. I'm not saying hurt people. I'm saying in the dating process. Why? Because we're getting single, prepared for marriage. That's what you told me this is about. I'm single, getting ready for marriage. You don't have to marry that individual just because you feel bad. You don't have to marry that individual out of guilt. You don't have to marry that individual because you done put in a year now and oh my God, what people know. Learn this person over time. And if you realize that you cannot handle them or they cannot handle you, and here's another word, people use compatibility, but I use the word suitability. Are you suitable? Because the Bible never says, while we understand, it doesn't say that he found Eve, that I need to find somebody who's compatible. That's not what God told Adam. He didn't say I need to find somebody who was compatible to you. I know people got books. I know people get excited. But he said, I need to find you somebody that is suitable for you. Suitable. What's suitable? Suitability has a root word called suit. It means custom made. Y'all better stop buying these people off the rack because things off the for some of us, Lady Dawn, off the rack does not fit. You got to do too much alteration. You got to do too much fixing. You better get something that suitability. When I do suits, my suits are custom made. They fit me. And the problem is that we're dating people who are compatible. Just because you love God like I love God, just because you go to church like I go to church, don't mean that you are suitable for me. It just means that you are compatible to me. Just because you love black people like I love black people, you are compatible, but you're not suitable. Suitable means you fit me. But can't nobody else wear me like you wear me. Can't nobody else wear you like I wear you. We are suitable for each other. And when you're suitable, you get your name written in and custom made. You get it.
You better say that, sir.
When you find something that is custom made. The problem is, and I'll say for all the singles, your road to marriage, you should be looking for someone that suits you. You need to
write my name in the sleeve.
Suits you, someone that is suitable, someone that is custom made, someone that fits you. Because the problem is that the reason why you'll stay single is because you're not finding someone that is suitable. Let me fast forward to talking. Someone that is suitable knows how to talk to you. They know how to handle you. They know how to deal with you. You don't have to go, they know what words that come out when it comes to. Most people are single because you don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to handle people. Watch this, lady. You're not going to like this. You ain't got to say everything that comes to your mind. You don't have to say everything that comes to your mind. Some things you need to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to dial this back because sometimes it's not the right time to say it. And sometimes it's not worth to say it. Let me say that again. Sometimes it's not the right time to say it. And sometimes it's not worth to say it. There are many times that I believe in swallowing what you need to say because sometimes it's not going to come out right because it's the wrong time and they're not ready to receive it. The other thing is it's not going to come out right because you haven't filtered it correctly. So when it comes out in a way that makes them defensive instead of receiving it. They can't receive it because not only what you say, but how you say it. And then sometimes you just simply got to say, you know what? This ain't even worth it. It's small potatoes. It's not worth this situation. We got to learn to talk to people. What I find out is people are so aggressive in their conversation and in their talking. We don't have a loving tongue. The Bible says wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. We don't have a loving tongue. Our tongue, Lady Dawn, and I'll end because I know we got some of y'all got some great things. Our tongue is not seasoned with grace. Our tongue today is amazing, both male and female. It's so sharp. It's always defensive. It's always cutting. It's always putting the person down. And how do you know if you ever date somebody and they told you more than 2 or 3 times, you don't know how to talk to me? It's not them. It's you. Right. Is always say the problem is you don't know how to talk to me. It's you, and stop blaming them. No, you just don't know how. You got the thin skin. It's not about thin skin. You don't know how to talk to me because I'm yours. That's why I tell people when we have intense fellowship, I believe in whatever I called you when we was good. That's what I need to call you when we have an intense fellowship. So if you my baby, when we have an intense fellowship, I need to stay with my boo and my baby. You heard me say this before. Why? Because trick your subconscious to remember who you talking to. I'm not talking to Dawn from the street. I'm talking to Dawn, my woman. So Dawn, my woman, I can't talk to her like she's some girl from the street. I got to keep tricking my mind, remind myself. So I'll say, babe. Even if I'm frustrated, you'll always hear me say, but babe. If I say Dawn, then I'm backing up tomorrow. Because by the time I move to Dawn, by the time you move to Michael, you've been calling me Bishop, you've been calling me Prophet, you've been calling me babe, or whatever the case. By the time you move to Michael, I done got another side of you. And that's why I believe people don't know how to communicate. People don't know how to talk to one another. And so they're not ready for marriage, because marriage means that I am no longer just your boyfriend, your boo on the side. Marriage is a covenant, and God knows how to talk to us. You don't see, so that's covenant relationship. How is it that we are careful with how we talk to our parents? Most of us, we're careful how we talk to our boss. We're careful how we talk to our pastor. We're careful how we talk to our God. But when we come to our spouse, we are reckless in our voice. We're reckless in our conversation. We're reckless in our words. And this is the person that you made a triple covenant, like God, the threefold. Yeah. You made this covenant between each other and between God, which is a whole cross. It's between each other and between God. You made that covenant. And why is it the one person that I don't know how to talk to is my spouse? Now, don't get me wrong. Don't nobody make you cuss faster than your spouse. Since we had 240, yeah. Don't nobody. You can be the safest person in the world, but don't nobody. When they say there's a last nerve, Lady Dawn, I think every spouse find that last nerve.
The nerve that's behind the last nerve.
They find it. They stand on it. And you get on my last one. They're getting, so I'll leave it with this. Again, I have to come back. I love the pools because I'm always talking about how to help people. Take this with you. If you go swim in the ocean, know that you don't have to keep it. You can absolutely talk. Why? Because you don't want to go to marriage with the wrong catch. Claiborne, you don't want to go. When I say get out of there, Claiborne, you don't want to go to marriage. And all of us agree. You said it. I've said it. Anitra said it. We went to marriage with the wrong catch.
Mm-hmm.
If we was to be honest, we should have threw it back. If we was to be honest.
Oh, Jesus.
That's pain. We should have threw it back with dating, but feel bad. Somebody made you look crazy. Somebody guilt made you be there, but you say that you love me. Yeah, but when I'm watching this whole thing that we've been together while we dating, we not good for each other. Come on, and we will be honest. We were not good for. We should have threw them back. And even though it's going to hurt, I'd rather see you have a temporary hurt from dating than a permanent hurt from divorce. I'm done.
Now, third, listen here. Disciple said, when you call me by my government name, I know it's serious. Listen, me and Bishop, we had this moment on one of the other shows she talked about. I told her when I'm mad, no, I don't want you to call me. Don't call me, babe. Don't do that. Because I'm not, let me be mad. You know what I'm saying? You disrespecting my moment to be mad. But, but I get it. And I'm like, because you can't stay mad when they call you by that name. Whatever that name is, you can't stay mad. It's just like you ruin a really good moment for me to be angry. So like, don't do that. Don't do that. Play fair. That's not playing fair. Play fair. But it's true though. It is so true. You dropped so much in these moments. It's like, my God, I got to drink to that or something, because Jesus, there was so many good, great points in how we talk to each other. And I went through that, y'all know I'm transparent. I don't care. I've been that. Listen, I was married and I've been married more than once. I made the same mistake twice, the same thing. It wasn't second time. It wasn't a mistake. It was a habit. You know what I'm saying? It's like at that point, when you do something dumb the first time, okay, and you don't learn from it, and you repeat it, it's a habit. We all been there, and that's when you need healing, and that's when you need to really take a minute to yourself. But I remember at one point, I was like, I wasn't Dawn, I wasn't Babe, I was every other kind of name that you could imagine, that you could find, that you could think of. And I said, hold on a sec. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, my best friend in the whole world, roommate in heaven, is in the house. Dr. Tawana T. Bryan, she says, play fair, Bishop. That's what, listen, don't do it. Let me have my anger. And this is my best friend for real. Like for real. And then listen, I'll take a bullet and knife and fight a jaguar for her, like for real, and vice versa. I'm trying to tell you, she already knows. That's how we roll. That's how we get it.
Babe.
No. That's gonna irritate me. I'll be like, nope. I'll have to walk out because I'm a sucker. I'm so serious. It would melt my whole heart, even though my attitude would be so heavy.
If anyone's supposed to bring you down, it is your spouse.
I don't want to be brought down. I want to in my anger. Respect my anger. You know what I'm saying? I want to be angry for a minute. My mother used to tell me, my mother said when I was little, like her, my dad would be having a real good argument. You know, she said I would come along and I would just, she said, I ruined many good arguments because I don't like to argue. I don't like yelling and stuff. So I would always, you know, I'd end up crying because I'm real sensitive. I don't like people to be mad at each other and whatnot, you know, but if I'm mad, it's like, let me be mad. Don't come over here and talking to me all night. You ain't even got to touch me. This
is cuffing season.
I'm telling you.
I need you to be not mad because I got to go to bed. It's cuffing season. It's cold outside too. Oh no, I'm pulling out every trick in the book.
That's what we don't. That ain't playing fair. That ain't playing fair. That's the sucker move. That's you know what I'm saying. It ain't right. It just ain't right. It was like, because then I forgot what I'm mad about. I can't even stay mad. It was like, this was, you know, I was really ready to be mad, but I can't now because now you done called me by my name, you know, because it triggers, you know, different tones and things. But I had to learn. Like I said, my ex-husband used to, at one point, I was every other thing and I wanted to go off. And my mother can witness that, like, go off. I mean, I was ready to put the Lord, I'm going to put you down for about 3 minutes because I don't want nobody to blame you for what's about to happen. And people know that I'm saved and I'm a preacher and all of that. And I'm going to tell them straight, this ain't nothing of God. This you're about to get is 100% Dawn Denise Brathwaite, Southern Belle with Bayesian blood, like that. Yeah, it's all coming out from the Bronx. You was about to get all that good fire, and yeah, it was going down. And God had to like put a hot coal. What? Listen. It was he was bringing it all up, and God had to really tell me to be quiet. And I was one of the hardest things he said, and all I could do was respond and say, I'm not going to spew venom back, because even if you're not respecting me as your wife, and even though we are getting divorced, you right now today in this space, you're still my husband. And I may not like you right now, but I'm going to respect and honor that you are still my husband right now. Just today. That's the only thing that's saving you today. Is that you still have that title, because there are certain words and things that are not in my vernacular. They're not in the jargon that I speak. They're not in the jar of words that I use when it comes to you. You know, there are certain words that I store up for whoever I'm with that I'll use in conversation with you, good, bad, or indifferent. But there are just certain things that I will never equate with your name. So those words don't even become available for me to speak to you, even in anger, even when we're frustrated. And that's the respect that we have to have one with the other. But like you said, if we don't have that type of space, and you know, I tell on myself, you know, I do. If we don't have that, then we're either not ready to be married or we are in a relationship with the wrong person. And either way, like you said, or I'm the wrong person in this relationship. Because if I'm triggering you to act that way or to speak that way or to, you know, like, because sometimes truth is we trigger people. And women, we're good for pushing a man to the point of no return. You know, we really are. We can do it. We know how to find the nerve that hasn't even developed yet. We do, you know. So we do have to learn how to talk to one another in relationship. And I think that a lot of times those things, when we find that we have to start talking to people real left-sided, it's because there are things in us that still have not healed yet. See, my bestie says guilty. This is why we best friends, because both of us have a mouth that's foul. Like, you know, you can't spew curses and blessings at the same mouth. God be like, choose which vocabulary you use it. Sometimes my mother would be like, I don't know whose child you are. Like, that is your father. She's like, what happened to you? You know.
Absolutely, especially with the spewing of the mouth. I'd be like, oh.
I'm just saying, it's the truth.
That's
That's
to be like, where did you even learn that at?
and I perfected it, and I done made up some words. I done had some cuss words that ain't even in the book, like just some stuff in my lifetime. But I'm saying, I'm doing better. I'm doing better. My mouth is saved now. My mouth is saved.
It's better.
My mind's still struggling. It's still struggle. It's a war within my members, but we gotta learn how to heal from those things that make us talk to one another like that. And oftentimes we attack one another in that way because we feel unheard, or it's the only way we know how to communicate, or we are afraid to be vulnerable. We don't want to be wrong, and we want to remain in control. There's so many things that cause us to talk to one another like that, in a manner that we shouldn't. And so, we got to learn how to watch our mouths and be mindful, because in marriage, this is your partner, your teammate, not your enemy, and not just somebody that you met. This is who you're linking up. Like, if I hurt you, it's hurting myself. And that's how we have to operate. So in singleness, it's important for us to get as whole as we possibly can before we attempt to show up in relationship and even leading to marriage. Anitra says, I want my voice to speak to the safety and security within my husband. Yes, ma'am. I've learned how to speak a lot different. Like, I've learned how to, Bishop was saying, you gotta pause, choose your words. And I've learned, like, does everything have to be said now? Do I need to say this? And do I need to say it now? Because maybe he or she is not space to hear me. I have learned to not be so quick to want to share what I feel I want to get off my chest. Because at that point, it's not even about hearing you. It's about me wanting to inflict something on you. It doesn't even matter what you said, because now it's my turn. So I've had to learn how to change that attitude and pause and say, no, now is not the time, or that's not what needs to be said. And it may take me a minute, but I will wait. I've learned how to wait a day or two and say, hey, babe, listen, we were talking the other day. You made this point. I was offended or bothered, by it. I didn't say anything then because I didn't think it was a good space, to talk, because it's not even always about how the person will hear it. It's, am I in the right space to deliver it in a way that it can be heard? Because what's the end result? What's the end result that you want? The end result I want is not just to be heard. I want to be understood, and I want us to resolve this so that we can be better together. And so I feel like we have to learn how to pause, like you said, and wait. Pick your spots. This has been great conversation on tonight. Hope y'all like and subscribe and share, and see when Bishop comes through. Like, we could do a marathon. I'm trying to tell you, it'd be some good stuff. We're gonna bring him back next month. I'm telling you, as soon as when we done here, I'm gonna hook up with him. We're gonna find out what day, we gonna make sure in October he is back with us. We might have to end the month of October with him. Just come on, have a relationship talk. Just let him have at it. Just have, the panel come and share. Because you're going to have to come back with the ocean and the fish and the pools and the algae and don't forget the barnacles. Don't forget about those, because, there's some of those, and got to be careful, and be careful what bait you use while you fishing, because that makes a difference in what you want to catch. I'm just saying. So this has been really, really good. It's been a great month talking about our singleness, being single in September, being aware about cupping season so we can make better choices. T. Brian says, come on back, Bishop. He's coming. Bishop has books that he has written. The most recent being The Huddle. I believe that was the last one, right? The Huddle, that's the book on marriage. And he shared on that, matter of fact, when you come back, we're going to have to dip back into that. Flag on the play. You know, there's some good stuff in it. If y'all don't have it, you need to go to his website. And if you put it in the chat, Bishop, that would be great. And go get it so that when he comes back and we're talking about it, you'll have a leg up on the conversation, because it's a good book. I have it myself. I enjoy it. He has other books that he's written, but that was the last one. But we are definitely going to bring him back. Disciple Spencer says that's growth. Girl, the stretch was painful. I ain't gonna lie, because I wanted to be able to just loose my tongue to say what he wanted to say. God said, no, I've had to learn how to discipline myself to get what I want. I had to think about, is what I'm doing really getting the results that I want? And when I did go off and then a man responds the way that they respond and the relationship breaks up, this is what we do, ladies. We'll say, see, I told you he was going to leave. See, I told you he was going to do it. And he's leaving because of your behavior. You know, when never stopping, it was like, well, if he talked to you the way you just talked to him, would you stay? Would you tolerate that? You know, but we are given self-fulfilling prophecies because we're creating. Yeah, we're creating that. We create that dynamic, and then we start to believe our own lie. And after we get to this, you know, there ain't no good men out there because they all do this. No, like you said, but it's your attitude. And some men too, you know. You know, we have to learn to talk to one another and heal in our singleness. That's what's part of the key point of being single. Take this time to heal, decide who you want, figure out who you are and decide who you want to be. I'm going to share this and then I'm going to let us get to our final comments. In this journey of podcasting, this is, I think, going on the 3rd year for me. And it came a point where God said, how are you showing up? And I said, what? I was like, me, I'm showing up. Like, you know, I'm coming in, I'm showing, you know, and God said, no. How are you showing? How are you presenting? Are you presenting in a way that is going to get the results that you want at the end of this podcast? Because you can't just dress the part. You have to be the part. So it's not just externally, how are you showing up, but internally, how are you showing up? And that requires us to take self-inventory. And we need to do that in our season of singleness so that we are finding out who we are before we get there. It's so much easier to just be yourself instead of living a lie, trying to be what other people want and look for you to be. Anisha said, how you speak reveals where you are in the healing process. That's right. That's right. And so I adapted that mentality of how am I showing up in relationships, even at work? How am I showing up at work? How am I showing up to church? How am I showing up in how am I showing up for my friends? How am I showing up my family? You know, not just in my external, but in my speech. How am I carrying myself? And with my heart, how am I showing up? Am I showing up wounded, broken with all my scars, just expecting people just to tolerate and deal with it? Or am I taking accountability and saying, hey guys, I'm not there yet. You know, I'm working on it. It's going to take me a minute. So please give me grace and patience. And that's okay. But that's what part of the single time is for you to connect with who you are so that you can be the best you that you can possibly be. So this has been great conversation. Like I said, we're going to have Bishop come back in October. Y'all get ready. Y'all go get his book. Y'all go on his website. I believe is it michaelclayborn.com? www.michaelclayborn.com, right? I'm putting it in the chat. And while I'm doing that, I want to give everyone space to take 2 minutes to share your final comments and thoughts. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this season of September. Come on, Ma, take 2 minutes and give final comments and thoughts.
Well, I wanted to say first, it's okay to be single. It happens. We were born single. And when we leave this world, it's just going to be me by myself, nobody is, so we have to learn to adapt with life on life terms. And it's great, to be married, but you've got to know that when you're asking for someone to come with a whole lot of stuff, you got to come with stuff too that they need, And, as Bishop said, there's baggage. The question is, can you handle my baggage and can I handle your baggage? And if the answer is no, then it doesn't make sense, to get in a marriage or even stay in a relationship. Just be friends, because we run from being single to being married. Then we get married, and if we don't want to do that, then we run back to single life, and when we run back to the single life, we go back to it with pain, and somebody else has pain. We hurt someone else, and then we run to something else. So we need to take a minute to check ourselves before we get ourselves involved with anybody.
Yes, ma'am. That's good. That's good. Thank you. Y'all heard it right here from my mama, Pastor Rosa. Come on, my Ken. Give us your final comments these last 2 minutes.
Ooh, I'm still like swimming a little bit. I'm going back to the ocean. I feel like I'm not ready to be thrown back in, but okay. Man, this has been very enlightening, but I just wanted, and I'm calling her Mama Rosa now, Mama Pastor Rosa, that it is okay to be single. It is okay to be in the place that you're at. There is not a timeline to be married. We're taught that, but that is just not true. The timeline is how you're going to deal with yourself and how you're presenting yourself. A lot of times we show up with the representative, and I don't want to represent. I want to be present. So if I'm present, then I need to know who I am totally to present to myself to the world in every relationship that I'm in. So I just want to say, be sure that you know who you are. Don't send a representative on your behalf. Be present, present yourself. And one of the things you were just saying about how knowing who we are, a lot of times we like to say, well, this is just who I am. I've always been this way, and this is who I am. Well, that's the issue, because if you've always been a certain way and you are not yet evolving and growing, there is a problem within you got to address, because we are always growing. Life experiences take us to the next place, and it grows and we expand. We're living organism that's always, there's cells falling off on us and cells regenerating in us, new cells. So we should be growing even in our mind. So to say this is who I am and I've always been this way, that's a problem within itself. So always look to see what areas you need to mature, perfect yourself in. Perfecting is just maturing, not being perfect, but maturing yourself, and then finding someone that you can grow with, not stay in one place, that we can grow together. And I'm gonna just take from the bishop, and we can swim in this ocean together.
Oh, watch your voice.
In the ocean, one thing, all those different species, they coexist.
That's good. That's good. That's good, my kid. Watch your voice now, because it's okay. Careful. One thing that Bishop Claiborne and Bishop Davis say when you talk, it just popped in my head as you were speaking about when we say, this is who I am, and it's just the way it is. And I love when either one of them say this. It cracks me up. I don't care what you're talking about. They say, how's that working for you? So how's that working for you? Because that means I started applying that to so many things. It's ridiculous, because it'll pour somebody in their steps to really be reflective. Like, well, wait a minute, right? How is that working for you? They said it, and when the right one comes, Bishop Claiborne will always say, when people start talking about that list, I know one show he did, he was beyond pistivity, the level. He got there talking about this daggone list, and he just said, well, let me ask you, how's that working for you? Because you're still single. You're still by yourself. You and your list and your 10 cats. I said, you know what? I am off of this clubhouse right now, because he has gone too far. But it's the truth. Like you said, when you say that this is how I am and I've always been this way, that just goes to show you that that doesn't mean you need grace. That means you need deliverance and growth, because you're acknowledging how you are, good, bad, and indifferent. So you are aware, you are conscious of this fact, and you are looking for people to pacify you because it is more, you'd rather be comfortable in your dysfunction than to be uncomfortable in healing and growing. So you stay, and people are not going to continue. People don't got time at this point in life, but nobody got no time. If I'm cutting my rough edges off, then I'm gonna need you to do the same. So that's real good. That's good. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, my Ken. Come on, Bishop, and give the good people what they want. Come on.
My God, said so many great things tonight. Was absolutely awesome. Once again, I appreciate it. I'm always humble when I have the opportunity to share in this space. This is a space that is an extreme passion for me. Always has been. I was even looking back as a young man, as a teenager. I've always had a passion about relationships and marriage, and see it really work. And so I'm grateful to be able to be a part of those that are putting out the tools and giving the information to help people in that area. Again, find out where you're going. Tonight's conversation was about single to marriage. It is a journey. It is a journey that we have to get on. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And the problem is too many of us are sprinting to marriage. And we're tired by the time we get to marriage because we're rushed. So we're sprinting, so we're tired because we have to move quickly. But the marathon, what I love about the marathon is the pace. You can pace yourself to get there. It is a pace. I don't have to be in a hurry. The great thing, I was watching a movie about the Boston Marathon. The great thing about the marathon is that everyone else is running their race for themselves. I'm not running my race for you or running my race for you. And whenever I get there, I've accomplished just getting there. I don't have to get there in a hurry. I don't have to be the first in the line. Whenever I get there, I can accomplish what I want. And so one of the things about marriage, if you would just recognize that it is a marathon and it's about you getting there. The great thing about the marathon is finding someone else that has the same passion and the partnership for you and getting you there. You don't have to rush, as Anitra said. They have a time stamp on you when I need to do it. You don't have to rush to do it. As a matter of fact, some of us would say that's our problem because we rush to do it. But you don't have to rush. You can take your time. But on the same token, be very careful that there's a difference in taking your time and wasting your time. We'll save that for the next time. There's an absolute difference in taking your time. So you got to be careful that you don't allow someone to say they're taking their time when they're wasting your time. So you got to be very careful. And then sometimes people are taking their time because they're still watching who you are. And it's all right again. I need to watch who you are and how you react. We say this, Lady Dawn, and when the right one comes, I need to see you in all seasons. And I don't care what they say. You have a right, and you should. You got to see people in all seasons while you're dating them, because you don't want to learn this about them when you get married. You learn some things about them when you get married and realize that you don't have the capacity to handle who they are once you got married. And so I am real big on now, whatever time it takes. If it can happen in 6 months, it absolutely can. But if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, you need to learn who you're dealing with. Let me tell you something. After and all of us has been divorced. Let me tell you something. I think we all will agree. I am going to take my time to get to know about this person, dating them, than to get married. And why do we say that? Because you got to learn from you got to learn lessons from your mistake. No losses, but they're lessons. And what is the lessons? I'm going to learn a lot about you first before I go down. Why? Because I don't want to get so excited about you, make the feel goods. You make me feel good in these first 3 months or 6 months. We get excited about the feel goods, and then we be like, let's get married. But the feel goods going to wear off. Feel goods going to wear away, and you're going to have the reality of who you are and who that person is, and you'll find out that person is not what you want or what you need. So then throwing it back again is a lot more harder to throw it back because now you're in a different situation. I love you, Lady Dawn. You know, I absolutely do. Anytime we're talking about this relationship thing, I'm the guy. I love it. God is always, he's giving me a lot of revelation on it. And we're going to help people make it work. We'll help people make it work. Somebody asked me the other day, and I'll end with this. I heard someone make this statement. You know, how can you be a marriage coach and you've been through divorce? Because I can tell you what to do and what not to do. I can tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. Because there is some good and there is some bad and there is some ugly. I can tell you the things, the areas that I did right and the areas that I could have done better and the areas that I've done wrong. So one of the things is that, and that's where I'm at. And it's about sharing with people all of those things that are important. I'm actually working on book number 6. I am actually working on number 6 right as we speak. And now with my leg down, I'm hoping to get that finished definitely by for the end of the year as a Christmas thing. So we're working on that. But I'm definitely about helping people win in marriage. Pick up the books. As of next week, The Huddle will finally make its way to Amazon. So as of next week, The Huddle is going to make its way to Amazon. I stayed away from it for quite some time, but now we're going to make it to Amazon where people will be able to get it, and it's going to be mailed right to your door. So looking forward to all those great things. And I am working something on the side. I'm talking to a few different outlets, but I really want to turn The Huddle into a movie. So I'm kind of making some phone calls.
Right.
But I really believe that I'm looking at a few Christian-based or faith-based companies that have written a few other movies that's on that level. And the Lord was dealing with me and said, you know what, The Huddle is definitely one of those things like Fireproof, like some ones like War Room, like this New Forge. All of those are, when you look at it, they deal with relationships and marriages. And the Lord said to me, your book is just as good to get up there and be a movie. So y'all pray that I get the right people, the right connections, the right open doors. There's quite a few people. Bishop Jakes has a film. Kirk Franklin has a film company or production. The people who wrote Fireproof. So there's about 4 or 5 people out there that does faith-based movies to kind of get them out and get them known. And I'm looking at The Forge right now. Is doing amazing. Is doing great. We remember when Fireproof was really, really great. Several other ones, Woman Thou Art Loose, everything that Bishop Jakes did very, very well. So there's quite a War Room was one of the best out there. I'm like, wait, I can definitely get in that same level and get my thing out there. So I'm working on it, praying about it, asking God for direction, and prayerfully you guys will be listening up, and we'll be doing an opening night for The Huddle.
I believe it. Tell the people how they can get in touch with you. What are your handles? So
I'm on everything. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Clubhouse. But one of my most favorite spaces is tomorrow morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, live on Clubhouse and on Facebook. We are live on both platforms called Command Your Morning. And we are in there. We are praying. God has given us word, gave us an amazing word on Wednesday, being able to understand how to move from faith to fear. Move from fear to faith. Fear is the enemy of faith. You need to go back and listen to that replay because for Wednesday was absolutely bananas how God was speaking. And we're there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Facebook Live. I am also on all of my spaces, Instagram, and so on and so forth, and Facebook. So we're definitely doing the live and pushing things out there. So you can find me on all of those platforms. Michael Claiborne on Facebook, PMC on Instagram, and on TikTok, I think it's PMC as well, and as Twitter. So, but find me on all of those platforms. If you find me on one, you'll be able to find me on the rest. So find me on that.
Amen. See how they took it to church now to say amen. You know, I appreciate y'all so much. Mom, is always amazing to have you here. I appreciate you that, you know, she's not just my mom. Literally, I am her last, the 4 of 4 of her. I'm the 4th of her 4. But I thank God for my mom to be, you know, it's a blessing because some people can't have this type of mix with their parents, you know, and I do recognize and I value that and I appreciate, and I say it openly, you know, I love, honor, and respect her in every single way. Without her, I would not know God, because she's the one who introduced me to God, you know, and always lived a great example, not a perfect example, but a great example before me. So I thank God for who he gave me in her, not just because she is my mom, but because of the woman and person that she is. I know how to separate the two. You know, you could be a great mom and a horrible person, or a wonderful person and a horrible parent. I thank God that I have both in one, in Pastor Rosa. And yes, she's Mama Rosa to most. I don't mind sharing her. There were 3 more before me. They might be a little selfish. They might not agree. So I came into this sharing, but that's okay. You know, I love and appreciate you, and she's amazing in her own right. My kin, Anitra, you already know, girl, I love you with every bit of everything in me. I thank God for her always being available and coming on and sharing. You add volumes when you are here. And I just adore you. And, you know, we make it do what we do. The great Bishop, I so appreciate every time you come into this space. He's not just, you know, we say this often to tell the people, like, we're not just Clubhouse friends. Like, you know, we know each other in real life for a long time, way before there was a Clubhouse or Facebook. You know, we met in the midst of praising God many, many years ago, you know, and I thank God for the reconnection, that he has not changed, that his heart has remained the same. No matter what life circumstances have happened, you know, I love the fact that he is able to bounce back no matter what. And his dedication and commitment to God is always what I see, regardless as to what anything throws his way. You know, I salute you for continuing to stand. And I thank you for always being willing to come and lend your wisdom, your knowledge, and your gems to this platform and this space, so that we can help people together. You know, you took a lot of my final comments, which is cool. I had no problem with it, you know, because one of the things that I did want to say and share on this platform is that, yes, we've all of us that you see, you know, I say we have real talk with real resolutions. We are real people. We are well educated. People up here are licensed coaches, have real doctorates earned, not, you know, honorary. They put their time in. We are all preachers and ministers and pastors and elders in our own right, legally, respectfully, like we mean this thing legit. But one of the things when it comes down to relationship, and again, we respect everyone's moral compass, whatever it is. I'm just glad that you have one and that it works for you positively. One of the things that I will say is, when we talk relationships, I know people question, how is it, like he said, you can be a relationship coach, or you can be, you know, you speaking about relationships when you have, you know, been divorced. Well, would you listen to anybody about how to build a house if they never built a house? How would they know? It's not always the married people who know how to do marriage well, because you're only doing it as good as the day that you're at. You learn more through mistakes that you make than you do in the perfections that we have accumulated. So please know that when we're talking relationships, we are sharing with you from the well of our knowledge and our experience, what we have been through, what we have endured, and yet we're still standing. And believe it or not, I commend all of us, because we are still loving. No one has given up on love. Nobody is tearing down marriage. We all believe that marriage is beautiful. It is honorable. It is worthy of heaven. And we're just saying to you, if you're going to do it right. Do it to the best of your ability. Get yourself in the greatest space that you possibly could, so that you can show up 100% of yourself. Marriage is not 50-50, and don't go into it thinking that it is. Marriage is 100-100. That's what it is. That's why you got to show up complete. That's why you got to keep yourself tight in your singleness and grow, so you can show up 100. Because when you show up 100, you ain't going to accept nobody coming at 76. You're going to either wait it out to see if they hit 100, or you're going to find that 100, but you ain't going to settle. So I encourage you all to enjoy your singleness, grow through it. Like Anitra said, perfect it, which means mature, not be perfect, because no one is perfect but the man above. But maturing it, growing it, embrace it, enjoy it. It is worthy of being explored. So I want to thank everybody for joining us on tonight. September has been amazing. I hope that you will come and join us for October. I'm going to ask our crew to hang out with me for a second. Trying to figure out what's happening with my music here. It ain't coming back on. That's okay. Anyway, so for October, we are going to be talking. We know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness. And so we are going to be sharing about domestic violence awareness all month long. There we go. For the majority of the month, we're going to have different conversations. We're going to have Pastor Shields coming on to share. I hope you will all tune in and join us for the month of October. I promise it's going to be amazing as always. We just want to make sure that you are aware and showing up as your very best self at all times. We love you. We appreciate you. Bishop Claiborne, you are the bomb. You know you my guy. I love you with my whole heart. Anitra, you are my kin for life. I couldn't ask for better. Mommy, you are the queen. Okay, I love everything that is you. I am your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B, and it's always a pleasure. You guys have a great night. Like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you back here next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all hang tight with me for a moment in the back, and we will shut it down. See you guys next week. Have a great, great night.
On tracks, you feel me? I'm out here getting paid